You won't believe the situation I found myself in recently. It's one of those moments that you know could change your life, but you're not entirely sure how. Imagine this. You're a 21-year-old college student, halfway through your mechanical engineering degree. You've been lucky enough to cover your tuition with scholarships and savings, so no student loans are weighing you down. Life is pretty good, right? But then, out of nowhere, you receive $12,000 from an inheritance. It's a bittersweet gift, of course, because it comes from the loss of a family member. But now you're sitting there with this chunk of money and wondering, what on earth should I do with it? At first, I thought about just putting it in my regular savings account, but I quickly realized that wouldn't be the best move. I didn't want this money just sitting around, doing nothing, while I'm trying to figure out what to do with my life. So, I started thinking about my options. One idea that came to mind was a high-yield savings account (HISA). I already had one with Discover, so I knew the drill. It's safe, it's accessible, and it earns a bit more interest than your typical savings account. But then I thought, is that really the best I can do with this money? That's when I considered a certificate of deposit (CD). CDs can offer higher interest rates than HYSAs, but there's a catch: you have to lock up your money for a set period. The longer you're willing to part with your cash, the more interest you can earn. It sounded good, but then I started worrying about liquidity. What if I needed that money for something urgent? After all, life is unpredictable, especially when you're in college. Then there was the option I hadn't considered seriously before: a Roth IRA. Now, I had heard about Roth IRAs in passing, but I never really paid much attention. The idea of saving for retirement while I'm still in my early 20s seemed almost unnecessary. But the more I thought about it, the more it started to make sense. A Roth IRA allows your investments to grow tax-free, and when you withdraw the money in retirement, you don't have to pay taxes on it. It's like planting a tree that will grow into something huge by the time I'm older. So I did some research and realized that opening a Roth IRA could be one of the smartest things I could do with this money. The earlier you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. Even if I just put in $6,000 of that inheritance, the annual contribution limited could grow significantly by the time I hit retirement age. And the best part, I can withdraw my contributions, not the earnings, at any time without penalties, which gives me a bit of liquidity if I ever need it. But let's be real, I'm still in college. My expenses aren't huge right now, but I don't have a steady income either. I needed to make sure I had some money available for emergencies, or in case I wanted to take advantage of any opportunities that came up, like a study abroad program or a conference related to my major. So, here's what I decided to do. I took $6,000 and opened a Roth IRA. That way, I'm starting to save for my future, and I'm taking advantage of compound interest over the long term. The other $6,000, I split it up. I put a portion into my HISA for emergencies, so I could access it quickly if needed. The rest went into a CD with a short-term maturity, just to get a bit more interest without locking it up for too long. In the end, I felt like I had a good balance. I was preparing for the future without neglecting the present. And you know what? It felt pretty empowering to take control of my finances like that. I'm not a financial expert, but I learned a lot from this experience. So if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, think about your options carefully. Consider your short-term needs, but don't forget about the long-term benefits of starting to invest early. You might just find that a little bit of planning now can set you up for a much brighter future. And who wouldn't want that? Thanks for watching. Subscribe Money Island for more new personal finance stories.